Step number 2, master your brand. Master your brand. I've seen too many multi-talented and gifted people fail in life. And I've seen people who are not very gifted succeed in life. And the major line between the two is that one mastered the craft and the other one was looking for quick wins, quantum reps. Because this life does not reward sprinters. Life is a marathon. You see, I've had 5 great mentors. And the leader in the pack, as you all know by now, is Zig Ziglar. And by the age of 45, he said he had 17 businesses and broke. Then it dawned on him he was going round and round, making no progress. Then in just a record 2 years, he identified one thing, put his all into this one thing. And by the end of 47, in his own admission, he had reached financial independence. He said, all along, he was a wandering generality. And hence his popular quote, you can never make it in life as a wandering generality. You must become a meaningful specific. Now, every great teacher has a philosophy. Now, if you've been listening to me for 3 months or more, there are some of my statements you can complete on my behalf. And it's a deliberate tool of training. So that at any given moment, you can say what Kinyanjui stands for. And here is one of them. So that if you miss one of the truths I'm going to say right now, you have missed anything I've ever taught you. Here it is. Focus is the ability to say no. Wisdom is not just knowing what to do. Wisdom is also knowing what not to do. Selection is the name of the game. I've been teaching Wilfredo principle from Pareto Wilfredo all along. That 80% of your output come from 20% of your input. Find out the 20% that deliver the 80%. In other words, what I'm saying tonight, don't do more, focus on less. I'm not suggesting after this meeting you do much more. I'm actually suggesting focus on less. By the way, I'm going to be so daring tonight, so daring, to tell you, don't even work on your weaknesses any longer. You are already weak on your weaknesses. Begin working on your strengths, and by default, you will starve your weaknesses to death. Begin working on your strengths. If you have a child who is not doing well in maths, stop pushing them for maths. Let them concentrate in history, if they are good in history. Who told you the world just requires mathematicians? Begin working on your strengths. We've got to master something. And I will tell you, the main enemy of mastery is boredom. Repetition is the pathway towards mastery. Repetition is the mother of all learning. So before you leave this meeting tonight, I want you to identify the big 5. I call them the daily 5. One of my mentors, from a distance, my third mentor, he said he identified his daily 5. And since these are people I look up to, I'm humble enough to tell you today, I'm a product of mentorship. I've sat at the others from a distance. And I'm doing this because I was going through a book by Malcolm Gladwell, The Outliers. And he tries to build an argument that the reason the Beatles became the leading band in the history of mankind is because they practiced 10,000 hours. Now, there are many arguments around that principle, the 10,000 hour rule. But let's capture the spirit behind it. The spirit behind it is, if you do something for 100 times, it's good. But if you do it for 1,000 times, it's game changing. If, however, you do it for 10,000 times, it's life changing. The principle behind it is this: repetition is the pathway towards mastery. So I was going through John Maxwell's materials, and he said, these are my daily 5. Every day I read, every day I write. Every day I fire thoughts. Every day I do reflective thinking. Every day I ask myself critical questions. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my second defining moment, my eureka moment. I just come from a school of Zig Ziglar when I enrolled for John Maxwell's. That was my dad's school. My second school was Rick Warren, because growth doesn't happen. It has to be deliberate. And from that day, anyone who has ever had me here, I've said it 1,000,001 times, I'll say it to the day, to my last breath. Every day I read, every day I write, every day I file thoughts, every day I do reflective thinking, every day I ask myself critical questions. Before I came for this meeting, I spent no less than 6 hours doing reflective thinking. Some people tell me, hey doc, let's do some oil business. Let's prepare for what is going on in Turkana. Let's be strategic. I tell them, good idea. Every day I read, every day I write, every day I follow thoughts, every day I do reflective thinking. Every day I ask myself good questions. Hey doc, you don't know what's going on. There is so much money in ICT. We are likely to become the next Mark Zuckerberg. What a nice idea. Every day I read, every day I write. Every day I follow thoughts. I do reflective thinking. I ask myself critical questions. I found my place, and my 2 feet are deeply rooted in the air. You find your place. Go make the millions in that ICT. Because I'm pursuing purpose. I'm not pursuing the millions. And that's the difference. What are your daily 5? What are your daily 5? That's the question.